Okay, today is the 16th of April. Um, what I'm doing here is this is for people who this is for those of us who have bluebirds, purple martins, and we need traps to deal with the house sparrows. So I wanted to inform people who are looking for a house sparrow trap in particular of a new one. Okay, let me explain this real fast. This one here is probably about at least 20 or 30 years old. Okay, it used to be called an ST1 trap. I think that's what it was called. And it used to be manufactured in Illinois by Trio Martin Housing. They used to make this trap. And a couple years ago, they sold all their product and the ability to make their product to a place in Chicago, which decided to quit making this. And then there was, you can go online and find this. And then there was a Chinese-made one, which I don't even think you can get anymore, to be honest with you, because of supply chain issues and all the other nonsense that goes with it. There was a Chinese version. Well, here is the Amish version of this, okay? There is a... Now, I'm friends with several Amish people in northeast Indiana. I go out there and visit them all the time. I've had supper with them. I've had dinner with them. Wonderful people, interesting people, interesting culture. Just so you know, they're friendly and nice people. They generally don't let you in you generally don't get in an inner circle with them unless you have something in common with them or your neighbors. And the thing I've had in common with Amish, this group of Amish people for years, has been purple martins and bluebirds. Okay, so I have an individual who has a store out there. He's got a greenhouse, he's got a bird feed store, and he sells products for wild birds. And one of these guys is now making this trap. This trap is no longer available. So here's the idea behind this trap. The idea is you put some bread, and I always tell people to use bread. Don't use seed. You'll catch native birds in here. And what happens is the sparrows land on here. They jump in, and then they're trapped in there. And there's a little one-way door underneath there, and they get trapped in this holding compartment. You can only catch 2 at a time, so you have to basically kind of keep your eyes on the trap. And you can reset it. You can keep as many as you want in there. Make sure you have, if you aren't familiar with birds, get yourself a good field guide and make sure that you can ID what you're trapping and have an understanding that females will look, different birds. The females will look different from the males, and the juveniles will look different from the parents. That's really important. Now, I noticed there are people, the most common birds I've ever caught in this trap have been grackles and the occasional cardinal and the occasional mourning dove, but I no longer catch them in here because I use bread as a bait. I have actually caught kestrels in this thing because they're trying to get the bait bird, but that's only happened 2 times in the 25 to 30 years I've been doing this. But anyway, what I want to do is compare these two. Okay, so here's the holding compartment. If you look back here, there's a little one-way wire door. I don't know if you can see this. See, the sparrow goes in the holding compartment, comes back, it finds its way, it starts pushing around, and it finds its way and pushes its way through there, and it gets locked out, can't go back in, and it's here in the holding compartment. In the old style, and forgive me for how this is unused, as you can see, there's a door back here, a one-way door with a spring. You see that? Okay, so that's a difference. the bar here is different too. Now, what I wanted to demonstrate was there is a little notch on here. Okay, it's so hard to see because of the glare, but there's a notch, and this when you pull this thing, it'll lock into place. Now, here's the thing. I discussed this with my Amish friends about that. That notch might be too deep. So here is a quarter, right? I'm pretty sure a house sparrow weighs more than a quarter, but I'm not really sure. But it doesn't set it off when it's on that notch. What I do, and what I've discovered, is I lower this bar just a little bit. If you went sideways, I just lower that just a little bit so it's not all the way in the notch. So it's still set. It's still set. There you go. So I haven't set this up yet because I have been waiting to kind of showcase it. It does have a handle, so you can pick it up. If you want to look here, maybe this is a better view of this one-way door here. See? House sparrows go through it. Now, I haven't tried it yet. I haven't set this up yet because, like I said, I had been waiting to kind of make a video of it, and I promised them that I would do this. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this thing ain't cheap. I think when I was there last, it was about $70. Now, but here's the issue. If you're like me, I don't spend money on much of anything, except for we all spend our money on the things that we like, right? And I spend my money on birds, basically. That's where I spend most of my money. And if I see something new that I think is going to work, particularly to help me deal with the house sparrows, I mean, I'm fighting these damn things constantly. But if you notice, listen to the background noise here. Do you hear any? You know, I'm living in a suburban area that's kind of semi-rural. The area I'm living in is kind of unique topography-wise. I'm surrounded by water on every side. The variety of birds I got here is not normal. I saw a flock of white American pelicans this morning. I got a pair of ospreys building a nest in the back. Bald eagles. There's a nest of bald eagles a half a mile from here. It's not a normal situation. I get a lot more birds than the average person does. And I'm big on controlling house sparrows because I got nesting everything here in nest boxes that I put up. And this is one of the things I wanted to show. I made another nest box for bluebirds today. This is made out of bamboo. This is bamboo. See the screw at the top? That's how the lid is attached. If I want to check the nest box, I just undo the screws and the lid comes off. I made this yesterday. This will go on a piece of conduit pipe. It's like Gilbert's and bluebird house, but made out of a big piece of bamboo. So anyway, this is pricey. You can't get this anymore. To those people who want these repeating bait traps for house sparrows, I have the typical one. It has an elevator that goes down, and you know, those work great if you have bait birds in them. But if you're struggling, like say I put this birdhouse up, say I put that up, and I got a house sparrow on it because I don't have a trap for that, and there's a house sparrow taking an interest in it. What I will do is I will take the nesting material. If there's a house sparrow showing interest and they want to build a nest in there, I'll put some nesting material in here, usually some string or yarn and a couple feathers. I'll put them in both sides, and I'll put it below that house. And what'll happen is the house sparrow sees the nesting material and he'll go for it. Now, what I'll often do too is I'll put nesting material on one side and I'll put a slice of bread on the other, and I'll just put this on the ground right in front of this thing. And then if you tear out a house sparrow nest, they will go back to the ground and pick the stuff up that you just tore out. So I'm just trying to adjust that to where I want it. You see that? And then, you know, and it's just say this is one of them. They look down there and they decide they want to go in, and you got them. And they'll move through the back and they'll be in the holding compartment. So like I said, this will be about $70. It's got a handle. I think it's a great tool, and it's a great way to get it. And let me tell you where they're at in case you're interested in it. This is their address here and their phone number. Sorry. Right there. Nature Unlimited. So I'll set this thing up, see what we can do, how we can get it to work, and maybe I'll take it over. I got a friend of mine that has martins down the street, and she's trapping house sparrows because she doesn't trap them all year round like I do, and her martins are returned and she's busy trapping every day. So maybe I'll take this over there and see what happens. All right, hopefully that'll be of some help to anybody that wants to get a ground trap. I've used this style for years in conjunction with the other ones, and it works great. And one of the reasons it works so well is because this is open, and they don't see this as a threat. And they decide they're going to come up here and just jump down. So let's, if you want to buy one, you know, give them a call. Ask for Dave Yoder. And you can make sure, just tell them Rick Cruz sent you. They know who I am over there. I'll be happy to help you out. I have no idea what the shipping is. But like I said, if you're serious, it's like anything else, man. If you're in the cars, you're in the cars. Do you think people spare money when it comes to doing what's best with that? I mean, seriously. If you're serious about the birds that you deal with, and if you know, and you want to protect them, and you want to do what's right by them, because this is what you have to do. I don't care what anybody says. If you want to be successful with bluebirds, tree swallows, woodpeckers, and you're trying to get them to nest on your property, it's really important to control. There's some places that don't have house sparrow issues, but there's very few places that don't. So I highly recommend this. Give Nature Unlimited a call and just inquire about it, and they'll be happy to help you out. Till next time.